How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we'll be diving into the news of the week for MTG as a whole. A little bit here touching on what's happening in Arena, some of the stuff that's also happening in Magic the Gathering as a whole. Just kind of going over some of the points, just in case you missed the live streams or you didn't see the articles. We'll kind of talk about each point. Starting off in Magic the Gathering Arena, as we did get an announcement here on the 11th of the month. Kind of going over what to expect in the next few weeks as to events and other things that may be popping up throughout the course of that time in MTG Arena. The first and foremost here is that we do have our first ban in the Explorer format temporarily for one card, and I think a permanent ban for the other card. One being a Winota Joiner of Forces. That one is a temporary ban that they said that when Dominaria United comes out, they'll unban her, kind of see how she performs, and then probably make a decision there. I know she's not technically banned in Pioneer, but they did say as that format develops, they may ban and restrict certain cards until we get closer to what the actual Pioneer format is. The other card is Tybalt's Trickery. If you've ever played against this card or people who play this style of deck, essentially all it is a person will try to counter their own spell, which then triggers them milling cards on top of their library until they get like a big spell, and they essentially cheat it out for very, very cheap mana. It's not a very fun experience because a lot of times this leads to games where people just shuffle their deck or mulligan a bunch of times to hopefully get the key cards and try to Tybalt Trickery with like maybe 3 cards in their hand. The experience is not very good, and I think that's kind of one of the reasons why they didn't like the interaction with Tybalt's Trickery. It's probably one of those cards that they realized after they printed it that they probably really shouldn't have done something like that. But you know, that is what it is, but that is kind of like the one thing. And at the time of this video, these cards have already been banned in Explorer, though they did note that I guess the way that happened this time around, they weren't able to kind of do one of those notification screens when you logged in saying that these cards were banned from the format for the time being. The next thing up is we do have the Arena Open. You may see it kind of already popped up in your Arena client if you've opened it today. It's letting us know that there's going to be an event this weekend. Day 1 is going to be sealed. Best of 1 or best of 3 Streets of New Capenna, and day 2, if you make it through day 1, which means you get your 7 wins before you get your 3 losses, you qualify for day 3, which will be a draft for Streets of New Capenna, and this allows you to unlock gems and then a possibility of going through and getting some hopefully money if you get your way up to the top of the ladder on day 2. Overall, pretty cool. If this is your thing, you like limited, this is definitely your event. I think the gem investment is probably somewhere around 5,000 gems. I can't remember exactly. I saw it earlier and I can't remember. And I think the gold investment is probably somewhere around 20,000. It's drastically different, and the only way to enter is either gems or gold. So if you're a free-to-play player and you have a lot of gems or gold and you want to play a limited format, definitely pretty cool. Then we also have the announcement of the first play-in event, which will happen at the end of the month, or closer to the end of the month on the 21st. It's a best of 1 Phantom Streets of New Capenna sealed. Not sure why they did Phantom. It seems kind of weird just because you're making the investment, and in physical Magic, if you were to do a sealed, you would keep the cards regardless. So I don't know why for this play-in event that they're doing a Phantom version of it. And the other thing they actually noted too is that the qualifier weekend is also going to be a Phantom announcement too. I know it doesn't say it here because they announced it just yesterday on the stream when they kind of went over the new stuff, and I think we'll touch on that when we get to there. I do have the article pulled up that we can go over to there. We had some alchemy rebalancing if you're into alchemy. I'm not really into alchemy, but if you want to look on it, I'll have links for some of these hyperlinks that they added into the article, that they've changed some things in alchemy. The other thing is until the 15th of the month, you have a chance to play in this Family Means Business festival activity to unlock some cosmetics. It has a weird mechanic in it that I think you can sacrifice. You can play spells from your graveyard by sacrificing a creature and then paying the additional mana cost in order to do it. And then if you want to get some of these gilded card styles, you can definitely do that. And then they also have one for Rise Obscura. Whenever you attack, a target attacking creature connives. So definitely some pretty cool events, though it does cost. These aren't free events. I think you have to pay either like 2,000 gold or 500 gems, something like that, if I'm not mistaken. But if you want these cool gilded styles, this is definitely your way to go. And I think they're just doing it for the rest of the month to just kind of unlock all of them. They'll have a little bit of a different kind of ability, and it's something a little bit fun, something a little bit out of the normal for the typical standard historic and all that stuff. After that, we got the event schedule for the rest of the month, kind of going into July. We just had the one for standard for the midweek Magic, which is the free to play event. Where you can earn some cosmetics. This next week is going to be Artisan. After that is On the Edge. After that is Historic Pauper, and then in June we'll have future precons, which I believe means they're gonna give us a glimpse of what the future precon decks or the starter decks you get in MTG Arena will be. Definitely pretty cool, and this is definitely one I'll probably cover just because I know people like those style of videos where I kind of go over the difference in the future precons. So definitely pretty cool there. As we also move on to the quick draft, we do see that Call Time is the current quick draft. Actually, at the time of recording, it's probably already transferred over to Streets of New Capenna, which is going on until the 27th. After that, we go back into Strixhaven. Then we go back to New Capenna. Then we go to Innistrad Midnight Hunt, and then Crimson Vow. Definitely kind of interesting here in that regard because we don't have a summer set. It's going to be kind of interesting to see where they kind of go after Crimson Vow. Do we go back to Streets of New Capenna or one of the other sets? But, it is one of those things as we get closer to rotation. I believe it's still in September. Don't quote me on that because typically it's a September thing, but we don't have a summer set. So it is kind of that thing. Is it the September release or is it the Q4 release or the November release? We'll have to wait and see. But yet again, just keep in mind if you're ever going to do any of these drafts, especially with rotation right on the corner, out of all these drafts, Call Time and Strixhaven are both sets that are going to rotate whenever rotation happens in Standard. So if you're someone who's a Standard player, just keep in mind that these cards, will be rotating out of Standard and moving over into Historic in the coming months. After that, we just have a couple other things. It talks about the family festivals of the 5 families. Definitely kind of interesting. We also have the new competitive constructed event, and then we have the standard metagame challenge as well. Then the Arena Open, and then Premier Play schedule. May 21st is a qualifier play and best of 1 event. Streets of New Capenna Phantom Steel draft. Yet again, still makes no sense. Best of 3 as well at the end if you get into the qualifier play-in. And then they also talk about the qualifier weekend. This is where I was talking about where it's yet again Phantom. Not sure why. I honestly, I guess it's like I guess they don't want you to keep the cards. Still makes no sense. And then they just tell you briefly what the breakdown is of the rank season for the month of May. Overall, I think it's pretty typical stuff you would see, and it just kind of tells you what the special card style is. If you're platinum or higher, you get to sleep with the fishes, and then if you also get the hostile takeovers. So definitely pretty cool there. Moving on to the next article, this is where we kind of talk about the other stuff in Magic the Gathering. Talking about the key dates here is we have Dominaria being released in September at the beginning of the month. Definitely pretty awesome because we are going to get a little bit dry here in Magic, especially in Standard, because we don't have a summer set. So we'll have Dominaria kicking off the fall with with the new set. It doesn't say anything about Arena, but typically, we get the release within either the pre-release event or we get it with the worldwide release. So at some point, we'll get, Dominaria United in MTG Arena. And like I said, in typical fashion, usually the September kickoff also kicks off the new rotation season. So this will be our glimpse to the new Standard. So definitely pretty cool. The other thing to kind of note while we're talking about this real quick is because we don't have a summer release, I'm wondering if they're also going to do a Standard 2023, essentially talking about the post-release, of Dominaria. Definitely one of those things to keep an eye on as it develops. I mean, they didn't really do anything else other than talk about Dominaria briefly, and a couple of things coming to MTG Arena yesterday in event-wise. So I think they're still keeping a tight lid. These are just all the various, promotions as a whole. They also talk about they're making physical jumpstart, which is kind of like what they have with the jump-in event in MTG Arena. I guess they're making a physical pack of this. This is kind of cool if you're someone who's just looking to kind of slap some cards together, play with some friends or something like that. For the most part, it's just going to include one rare of a set of the thing and kind of like you slap it together. But that's kind of one of those things. And I don't know if they have it here. This is kind of the next thing I want to get to. I mean, if you want me ever in the future to go over the more physical stuff, I kind of want to talk about stuff that's going to be affecting Arena, just because that's where my content is focused on. But this is kind of like the summer release in MTG Arena. We're going to be getting Alchemy and Historic players. We'll get the Gate. We'll get the Baldur's Gate adventure or Alchemy Horizons, which will be kind of like that combo set, which will be kind of like the Historic Horizons 2 bundle we got last year. This is kind of like that same thing. So my big brain or my tinfoil cap thinking head is this is maybe why we only have 7 pages on our current season mastery pass, as I think when this set releases we'll get a new mastery pass, but it'll be, you know, for stuff for this Baldur's Gate thing, which is definitely kind of interesting. It is alchemy. I know people don't really like alchemy, but you know, with a very weak summer, we're not really having too much being released in MTG Arena. This may be where, you know, they may be looking to possibly push alchemy on players in the game, because at that point, maybe a lot of players have gotten stale with, you know, what current standard is. New alchemy with 250 plus new cards is definitely going to give a rejuvenation to, you know, the alchemy format. Also, this is like the first big release of alchemy we've had. I know we've had like decent sized releases, but this is like legit 250 cards, which I'm assuming are commons, uncommons, rares, and mythics, of course. So definitely pretty awesome there. And you know, just having a big influx of cards like this is definitely pretty good. And these are packs that aren't tied to a particular set, so it's like these are just straight up alchemy packs. So you know, it's definitely interesting in that regard. But yet again, we'll have to wait and see. You know, they're probably about the same. They're probably about the same price of a normal pack, but yet again, if you're not someone who likes alchemy, this may not interest you. But it is cool to kind of see, instead of doing a summer release, we got this instead. Like I said, my tinfoil cap is thinking that, you know, we'll get a new mastery pass alongside of this release to kind of go 1-on-1. I don't think they've technically announced it, but that's my theory. But guys, if there's anything you guys want or think that, you know, you want me to cover in the future, let me know in the comments below. Any of this stuff kind of interests you, if you're someone who likes to kind of see what the you know, the coming weeks are with events and various releases in MTG Arena, leave a comment down below. If you like the video, hit that like button, it definitely helps out a lot. If you're new here, you want to know post new videos on the channel, hit that subscribe button. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next video.